To never play a single varsity football game in high school but get a full scholarship offer to play in college sounds unreal. But that story happened at Fort Worth's Arlington Heights High School. It's a story that belongs to 19-year-old Leslie Adindu. And the thing is, it's not even the most unbelievable part of his journey. A journey that at one point left Leslie alone with no family and no home in a country he barely knew. In the darkness of your most uncertain time, where would your compass point? Would you lose your direction or find the will to stay on course?
It's not what is in front of you, it's what you can do with it. That's just how I've been since I've been on this earth, I guess.
Leslie Adindu's compass led him from Nigeria to America, to a football field and a chance to clash with his most uncertain time and power through.
He's got a drive to him where he doesn't quit regardless of the bad things that might happen to him. He just keeps on trudging along.
Leslie's American story started in 2019, moving to the States, to Texas, to live with his dad, leaving behind a life where he'd worked labor jobs since he was 10, where if mom didn't have the money to pay for school, he skipped the semester, leaving for a fantasy land.
Well, we used to think that it's like heaven up here. I used to believe that money grew on a tree. That's what I thought.
He found his way to Fort Worth Arlington Heights High School, where assistant football coach Charles Perry found him.
Fortunately, God brought him into my PE class.
He was like, "You ever try football?" I was like, "Nah."
Oh, he didn't know how to put on pads.
He's like, you willing to give it a try?" I was like, "Yes."
He has the speed, he's got the size, he's got the strength. I thought, here is a guy that could help us.
Playing junior varsity football in his junior year, Leslie's ability was obvious to everybody but himself.
I came off the field, they said, "You got a sack." I didn't know what it was.
Improving enough to play varsity as a senior gave him direction. And in March of 2020, a reason not to quit on himself when he lost his family and the apartment he was living in.
That's just basically what kept me going. Me and my dad, we had a little conflict and whatnot. We had a little misunderstanding. He moved out. They was like, "You can't be in here, your dad moved out."
At the same time that his dad deserted him, the COVID-19 pandemic separated Leslie from the football team. For months, they had no idea he was living alone here in Fort Worth at the Union Gospel Mission Homeless Shelter.
We couldn't get a hold of Leslie. We didn't know what had happened to him.
This is called Union Gospel Mission. Please take a shower.
We thought maybe he'd even gone back to Africa.
It wasn't until the summer that Leslie learned the football team was practicing, reconnected with the coaches, and showed them where he was staying.
I didn't see it like I was homeless. I just saw it like it's just those stages you just gotta go through in life.
He's going in a situation that a normal teenager doesn't have to go through and face. He's seen some traumatic things down there, unfortunately. I knew he would. He's seen people get killed and beaten to death and, all kinds of stuff. Your heart goes out to a person that has experienced that.
As part of his responsibility at the shelter, Leslie had to hold a job. When school started back up, he would work in the kitchen at the shelter at 3 a.m. so he could make it to football practice.
I work at 3 to like 7. I practice around 8 to like noon. After that, I do my online school.
Heading into the school year, Leslie would unmercifully face a new obstacle. He found out he was 2.5 weeks too old to play UIL football. Arlington Heights applied for a waiver, but was denied, meaning he would not get to play a varsity season after all. Still, Coach Perry was convinced it wasn't the end of the line for Leslie in football. So you told him to stick with it, and what was his response?
Yes, Coach. I mean, he really was. I think there for a brief moment you thought about maybe quitting, right? but it wasn't very long.
I just used the football as a, like a getaway, like a safe place where I, can be around people, run around and stuff like that.
So he kept coming to practice, played in the scrimmages. The coaches built the best highlight tape for him they could. Eventually, recruiters started noticing and then offering.
For someone to just come in his senior year with 7 or 8 film snaps to look at and has never really played on a Friday night to get recruited, I mean, that's pretty big. That's pretty unusual.
In February, nearly a year after moving into a homeless shelter, Leslie signed a national letter of intent to play football for Southwest Baptist University on a full scholarship.
If it weren't for the coaches, I probably wouldn't even be here.
Leslie Adindu.
Here was a guy that went from absolutely nothing to, I mean, the world is in the palm of his hand.
In Bolivar, Missouri, Leslie Adindu once again has a home he can call his own.
Yeah, that's one of those you mark up as something that you really love to see in your life.
In his most uncertain time, Leslie Adindu would not allow the chaos to change the direction of his compass, refusing to let the place he slept at night define what he did every day.
In my definition, I believe homelessness is like the concept of mind. It depends on what you do in the situation.
Through the darkness, he never lost sight of the big life he plans to live.
I got my whole life set. It's like I already got it all set out. I just got to, work at it a day at a time. Just, keep at it. Don't give up.
Now, several people in the community did offer to take Leslie into their homes when they learned about his situation. Leslie ultimately decided to stay at the Union Gospel Mission homeless shelter, in large part because of the great relationships he had built with the people running the shelter. Relationships, no question, he will always be grateful for. As for what's next for Leslie, he tells me he feels he's accomplished about 30% of his big life plan so far. As far as that 70% that still remains is concerned, one of his big goals and dreams is now to make it to the NFL, something he says, whatever it takes to get there, I'm willing to do it. I'm Jeff Cole, Fox 4 Sports.